Yo, what's up? Ricky Sanders here. If you live for fast cars, greasy hands, and solving problems under the hood, welcome to your new favourite spot. I'm all about real fixes, no BS, and showing you how to keep your ride running like a champ. So go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's make some noise in the garage. Enough talk, let's get wrenching.
At high temperatures, the metal has the property of expansion, which entails deformation of areas for which it is necessary to have precise dimensions to ensure the perfect operation of the motor. In every car there is a special engine cooling system that provides the optimal temperature for operation, avoiding the deformation of the necessary parts. How to check engine temperature? How do I know the engine temperature? The temperature of the gasoline engine is determined by the sensor, which is located on the dashboard. On the sensor there is a scale with marks indicating the value of degrees, as well as a color scale showing the degree of heating. The closer to red, the higher the temperature. If the previously tested temperature sensor has stopped functioning for some reason, you can use a special tester that has a temperature sensor. Such a tool is easy to find in an electrical goods store. To determine the engine temperature with a tester, you need to attach the sensor of the tester with silicone to the sensor installed on the engine and wait a few minutes. The display of the tester will detect and show the temperature. This is how the engine temperature is measured. Operating temperature. The operating temperature of the engine depends on the cooling system. The purpose of the system is to provide and maintain favorable engine operating conditions. During the combustion of the fuel mixture, a temperature closer to 2000 degrees is reached. The cooling system maximally reduces this indicator, maintaining the temperature in the region of 80 to 90 degrees. This is the optimum operating temperature. What is the danger of high temperature? Increased temperature in the engine leads to boiling and evaporation of the tow. After the fluid leaves the system, the temperature rises sharply, which leads to overheating and deformation of the engine, the internal combustion engine parts begin to expand and change. Eventually, the engine jams, which is fraught with failure. In such a case, it is difficult to revive the engine and it will be expensive. The permissible temperature in the car depends on the properties of the coolant. When pouring water, the limit temperature is 100 degrees. Tow withstands in the neighborhood of 110 to 140 degrees Celsius, therefore, operation is allowed at no more than 110 degrees. How to restore the normal temperature of the internal combustion engine? How is the operating temperature of the engine restored? First of all, if the temperature is high, it is worth checking the amount of tow in the system. If there is little or no tow there, it is necessary to pour. If there is no coolant reservoir, it should be poured into the radiator. When pouring directly into the radiator, it is necessary to be careful to avoid body burns due to hot liquid. The next step is to check the system for leaks. It will not be superfluous and check the radiator. If the engine has overheated severely, it is necessary to carry out its diagnostics. At what temperature you should start driving? The operating temperature of the engine is 80 to 90 degrees in winter. When the ambient temperature is positive, you can start driving at a temperature of 70 to 80 degrees. Since in summer the engine is not subjected to external cooling, its performance increases, and therefore it is not worth warming it up to high temperatures before driving. Normal engine temperature in winter. The optimal engine temperature in winter should reach 80 to 90 degrees, which will ensure normal performance of the mechanisms. At what temperature does the water in the motor freeze? Usually it happens at a temperature below west 3 degrees. Warm up the car should be no more than 7 minutes at high speeds, and no more than 5 minutes at low speeds. Warming up the internal combustion engine. The process of warming up the engine is very simple and requires no loss of time. After starting the engine, it needs to idle for about 5 to 7 minutes until the coolant temperature reaches plus 40 to plus 50 degrees. The warm-up time depends on the street temperature. In most cases, this is quite sufficient for normal engine operation. At very low temperatures, The heating of the internal combustion engine is carried out with the help of special devices that first warm the crankcase, to warm the oil, and then already start the engine, keeping it at high speeds. Engine insulation for accelerated heating of the engine in winter and to maintain an optimal temperature, it is worth insulating it. There are several ways of insulation. In conclusion, maintaining the optimal operating temperature of an internal combustion engine is crucial for its performance and longevity. Understanding the factors that influence this temperature, such as ambient conditions, load, and engine design, allows for better management of engine health. Different operating modes can affect temperature regulation, and knowing how to adapt to these variations can prevent costly breakdowns. By paying close attention to the temperature regime and implementing strategies to improve it under various conditions, you can ensure your engine runs efficiently and reliably. Remember, a well-maintained engine not only enhances performance but also extends its lifespan. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more insights on engine care and maintenance.